And here we are.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unplaytested. I'm your host, Alex, and over here, Lara has become some sort of space empress.
I'm a space empress, like from Animorphs.
Okay, for all you know, it could be very canon to be a space empress in our Animorphs game, Kalon Absolute Apotheosis, which we are about to play, and which we made last week. Yeah, that's the fiction. Fictionally, we made this last week when we recorded our podcast with legendary Vermin, who is the first of our two guests. I'm going to say maybe you can introduce yourself, and then you can introduce our second guest as well. You both can say whatever you would like to say to the internet.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Legendary Vermin. You can find me on all the places on the internet that matter as Legendary Vermin. Those places are Twitter, Itch, and Twitch. I make games, I play games on the internet, and I write things. So all of that is good, all of that is exciting. But not as exciting as the second guest in the studio, my very own father, Carl Helmgren.
Woo! Thank you. So, I'm Carl, and I'm at least half responsible for Vermin.
Dad, feel free to call me by my given name. I'm not gonna make you do that mental gymnastics.
Okay.
I was very impressed. Your dad is very cool already. I'm gonna make my dad call me Fractal Dragon. All right. Anything else you would like to say by way of introduction? Anything we should know about your exploits?
Oh, geez. I don't know what would be germane.
Well, when did you pick up Animorphs in the first place?
Did you read it to me or my brother Galen first?
I think it was through you.
Okay. Well, makes sense. I'm the bigger nerd of the two. Or at
True.
least the bigger sci-fi nerd.
True. Yeah. I was a sci-fi nerd as a kid, and I studied folklore and mythology. I have a master's degree in folklore and mythology.
Ooh.
And that is not something you can make money at. So I also have a degree in engineering.
Oh,
And
nice.
I worked in IT for most of my career.
That's great. Well, I'm glad that we can get you back to your folklore and mythology roots with our game about being weird space gods.
Should be great.
Yay. One thing that I also wanted to make sure to bring up, because we forgot to talk about it earlier, we are going to have safety tools in place to make sure that everyone has a good time and we have a nice, safe, enjoyable game where everything goes well. The main thing we're going to do for that is a tool called the X card. So the way that works is if anything comes up in the course of the game, anything at all that makes you feel personally uncomfortable for any reason, you can just say, I want to X that thing out, and then we will say, okay, cool, whatever that thing was, we will just rewind the game so it didn't happen. We'll take the thing out, and we will go back and do something else. For example, if I said, a talking dog named Jonathan walks into the room, you might be like, I'm going to X that out. And then we might ask, like, oh, is it because it's a dog or because it's a talking dog? Or do you not want the name Jonathan in here? Could be anything like that. You don't have to explain why. Just let us know what's up. And then, like magic, it will be gone from the game and we will not bring it up again. Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody agree to the X card?
Sounds great.
Perfect. All right. And if you ever want to send any messages just to us here, you can put those in the private chat over on the right. So to get us going, we are going to next hop in and read our extremely buck wild game that it's going to make as much sense to you as it does to us because it's it's a wild one. Lara, do you want to start us off, and then maybe we can sort of go? Let's see. Can you put us in line order real quick?
Yes, of course. I'll just throw this up.
Okay. So our player order for. Yay!
Thank you. I'm very proud.
Our player order for reading is going to go Lara, Alex, Vermin, Carl. And when you're reading through the PDF, just read off a paragraph-ish or until you get bored and then stop. And then the next person will pick it up and read from there. And we'll just go through the setup of the game together that way.
All right. This is a two-person introductory flavor text, though. So
oh my god, you're right. Okay,
Alex, you want to be the
I'll
bold?
I'll do the second part. Yeah.
Okay. A planet. Just a planet. One among uncountable trillions. Oh, this one bears life, which makes it a statistical rarity indeed. But statistics break down at large enough scales, and faced with an infinite universe to explore, there are infinite planets full of tiny little people, leading tiny little lives.
Lives which you intend on ending.
Oh, of course, and you're here to stop me. As it ever was, as it ever shall be, until I succeed at wiping out all life in this galaxy, creating a blank slate I can rebuild from.
I should destroy you once and for all.
You could try, you'd likely succeed, but you'll wipe out 12% of space-time as you do it. Is that a price worth paying?
Someday it will be. But perhaps not yet. Very well. Shall we play the old game one more time? Usual wager, winner declares the planet to be off limits for a millennium.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, that's a good flavor text.
Thank you.
All right,
Is that directly taken from the Animorphs series, or did y'all just make that up?
It's inspired by the true story of Elemist and Krayak.
Yeah. I'm also realizing the voice I was doing there was kind of my best Keith David as Goliath from Gargoyles, so I hope that my wife in the chat appreciated that.
Yes!
Much appreciated.
I probably could have hit it harder if I realized that's what I was doing. Okay. So I'm going to read the first little paragraph bit here, and then maybe Vermin, you can jump in on the setup. So, Kalon Absolute Apotheosis is a competitive world-building game, or perhaps a world-morphing game. We don't explain what this title means anywhere in here, and we're not going to. If you want to find out, you can go back and listen to the podcast episode, because I assure you it is fraught with deep and poignant meaning, such that mortal minds can scarcely grasp it. But, if you haven't listened to the podcast, you're missing out, so go back. All right, to play, we're going to need 2 teams of players, and we will be representing a pair of entities, organizations, gods, warring factions, gamers like you, who are competing over a planet. Each of us is going to get to make one change with our virtually omnipotent powers, after which we'll see how the planet develops in the wake of our interference. So we're going to have our players, we've got a map that we're doing online, we got dice, and we've got cards. So we have so many tabs open for this game. It would be so much easier in person. But you know what? We're doing it online because that's the responsible thing to do. And also, we're far apart. We can't fly Vermin's dad in because we do not have the funding yet.
I think we all live reasonably close, actually.
No, we don't. We live on opposite continents, and that's the facts.
Look, I'm not going to bring disease vectors near my dad at any rate.
That's very good of you. All right, you want to read us the setup?
You're wonderful people. You're not just disease vectors. So, the setup. Virtually every part of setup will involve the Oracle, which is found at the last page of this document. When you consult the Oracle, draw a card from the deck. The oracle will give you an evocative name, which you will use to guide your answer. The way in which the name informs you can vary, and if you're looking to the oracle to learn about a whole group of people and your result is the android, that could very well mean that they're a civilization of androids. But it might also mean they're a group focused on robotics, or a group who decided to live as or a group who decided
I think that's supposed to be dedicated their lives.
Dedicated. Oh.
We haven't
proofread
this one super hard because
no. It is absolutely the word dedicated. I just dyslexic.
Nah, you're good.
Or a group who dedicated their lives to emotionless logic, or a group whose defining feature is being constantly on the run from a single, indefatigable giant robot nemesis. Don't be afraid to go weird with it, because sometimes things are weird. Passing it on to you, Pops.
Okay. Who are you? Before you even settle upon a planet, both sides consult the oracle to learn about yourselves. Now, you are absolutely an entity of some sort with nigh omnipotent abilities to alter life on a planet. Based on the title you drew, what are you really? A person of outrageous power trying to make life better? An organization with tremendous resources trying to create allies? A post-singularity civilization just having a laugh? Don't go into too much detail about how you got to be what you are. It won't make a lot of sense, and the fans will pretty much consider it to be a weird filler bar some wild foreshadowing. Really, it's more about coming up with a narrative voice for yourself. Answer the following. What are you called? What is your motivation for influencing planets? What is the nature of your existence? Why do you hate the other character?
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so now we will scroll all the way down in our PDFs to the bottom to our oracle, and then swip over to our playing card tab. And I guess we'll only need to draw 2 cards for our 2 teams, right?
Yes, we do need to figure out what are our 2 teams.
Right.
I've kind of been assuming it was going to be Team Unplaytested versus Team Vermin and Vermin's dad. But, I'm up for whatever.
I'm more than happy to team up with my dad. If you think you can handle us.
We shall see.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm shuffling this stack. And I'm going to draw a card for Team Unplaytested and a card for, I'm just going to say Team Vermin's dad. Carl gets to be the...
Team Carl!
Yeah.
No, Team Vermin's dad.
That gets us both in there.
Yeah.
So, Jack of clubs for you and I, Alex, and 6 of clubs for you two. So... Jack of clubs, the sacrifice.
Oh my goodness.
6 of clubs, the resistance.
Ooh.
Okay.
I would love for y'all to go first, because I think, given our word, it would make a lot more sense for us to define ourselves in opposition to you.
Right. That makes total sense.
That is reasonable, yeah.
Okay.
The sacrifice.
The sacrifice. Yeah.
Boy, this seems like we are just trying to guide worlds to their doom, right? Like...
Yeah, that seems right. Let me think. Sacrifices don't have to be bad, right? A sacrifice can be worthwhile.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The chat has suggested Team Verdad, aka Team Truth.
That's very good.
Oh, very good. Okay. So what is our team gonna be? I feel like if they're the resistance, though, usually resistances are good. So maybe we're the the slightly more villain coded faction from the start. I think that sounds fun.
I'm super okay with being villain coded. Yes,
I thought
thank
you might be. Good, good.
So when I think of a sacrifice that is at a planet scale, I cannot help but think of the Planet Jackers from Invader Zim, whose whole deal was that they would abduct entire planets and hurl them into their planet's sun to keep it burning. Which I don't know that like makes scientific sense, but I kind of want to be the bad guys who's we're collapsing planets in a way that, whether it's true or not, we believe is preserving the universe.
Okay, I like that. It's a theoretically worthy sacrifice, and presumably the reason that we are restricting ourselves by the rules of this game is because that's how at least we think this sacrifice is going to work. If we win the game, then our chosen species or civilization or whatever will then do our good work for us.
Very good.
So
what are we
like...
called? I kind of want to give us a name like the Gardeners.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
What?
You gotta know what to prune. Woof. Yeah, the Gardeners. That's very good. Our motivation for influencing planets, it sounds like we are planning on turning them into weird, potentially supernatural sacrifices to power the universe.
To power the universe. Yeah, to keep the universe ticking. We're doing a noble thing.
If you think about it, we are. You can tell because we've been doing it, and the universe keeps existing, so we must be doing it right.
Okay.
What is the nature of our existence? Are we like one hyper powerful individual? Are we like a nanite swarm?
I want to say, even though we're called the Gardeners, I kind of like it if we're like really big, like flowers or plants. Like just like a skyscraper-sized, like telepathic flower sounds very cool to me.
Yeah, we're 100% a skyscraper-sized flower with like psionic abilities, which is what we use to control the planets. I mean, do we like fly through space just as a plant? Like we wrap ourselves in bark and then shuttle off to the next planet?
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Or no, you have to like make a seed and then you shoot the seed at a plant and then it hits it and grows there.
Yes. Okay. So there is a proto gardener planet that is just one planet somewhere, and everywhere else we go, it's just another spore of the original. But since we're psychic, it's the same, brain.
It's all good. Yeah.
Cool.
Or so we think. We don't know.
Or so we assume.
Okay, why do we hate the Resistance? Maybe we should wait until they define themselves before we answer that one.
That does make sense, yes. So who are you, the Resistance?
Okay.
And as you can see, feel free to just make shit up, because that's what we did.
You get one word and it has to be in there somewhere, and everything else is just going off the dome.
Okay, so I want to start by answering the third question, if you're cool with this. Dad, how do you feel about being like a so there's this relationship between plants and fungi in nature.
Oh, incredible.
What if we're like the fungi that breed in the soil underneath them?
Yes.
And we're like beneath notice most of the time, but we're not we're actively like working against them wherever they go. But we're part of their ecosystem and are paired.
Oh, that is so incredible. I've been reading Finding the Mother Tree.
Ooh.
Which is about the fungi that lives in the forest floor and kind of ties the entire forest together.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Hell
And
yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking of when I was thinking about the nature of our existence.
Yes.
So yeah, I am so down with that.
Awesome.
What is our motivation for influencing planets?
We hold things together. We are one with the universe, and it's our nature to try to reach out to the different elements in the universe and bring them together. Yeah.
Dad, that's so poetic. What the hell?
That's so good.
It's gonna make me cry on stream. Jeez.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely recommending Finding the Mother Tree to all of you. It's not fiction.
That sounds
It's
wonderful.
real shit.
That reminds me of The Secret Life of Trees, which has some similar stuff in it.
I'll bet it does. Yeah.
Another very good book.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of interesting things you learn about plants when you stop assuming that they're just like there. They're wild.
Sometimes they're trying to destroy your civilization to appease their weird universe prophecy.
Okay. And then what are we called? So we hold things together. I want to say something like the cradle, but like we're plants, so we don't have any concept of like a cradle.
Yeah.
What would be like a cradle?
The fabric.
The fabric.
The fabric.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And why do we hate the other character? How can a plant decide what's right for other organic species? Like, what's your deal? Where's your right? Stop killing these other planets.
You know,
We're the
that's
gardeners. It's
simple.
not just our right, it's our duty for the universe. Maybe you've heard of it.
we must take up the green plant's burden. No, it's too gross. I can't.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Oofda.
And why do we hate you in return? It's because why can't we be rid of you?
Yeah. I feel like we think that you're a parasite, and you're like, no, we're helping you. Like, the only reason you're psychic is, and we're like, go away.
I love that. Just this idea that like our fungal species is altruistic to the point of like perpetuating you when we really shouldn't.
Yeah, that would be very sweet.
We can't just kill all of them.
You're
Right.
part of everything.
Yeah,
you're
they
part of
are a
everything.
sentient species.
You are an element.
Mhm.
And
We're
we
the
need
part
to
of
hold
everything
you
that's-
together with the rest of the universe.
We're the part of everything that's destroying other parts of everything to preserve the rest of the everything. We're very important. We have a role to play.
Yep. Oh.
All
Just
right.
can't let you get out of line.
Yeah, that's great. It's such a good reason for us to play a game together. That's really neat.
All right. I'm so happy so far. Is it back to me for create and populate a planet?
Back to you.
So
The two of us have found a planet, and we are entering into a friendly wager, which may lead to the deaths of billions. Two factions currently vie for control of this planet, and we'll each choose one who we hope to benefit. Each of us are going to consult the Oracle 3 more times. First, to form the planet, each of us will draw one card to define the planet itself, and together, all four of us as a group, will come up with a broad vision of the planet based on the cards we drew. Do they go together naturally? Are they distinct in a way that hints at tension throughout the planet? Talk it over until we have a broad idea of what it looks like, and then draw some continents on the map to put an overall shape and a few land masses and smaller details to look good. Shall we do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting rid of these. Go away. And I'm
while
just
we're
gonna
doing
draw.
that, when I initially saw the art for this game, I was only ever seeing like the small version of it, and my brain, I didn't investigate it, but my brain kept telling me, "Oh, it's a burrito in foil."
That's so good.
Oh my god, it is.
So there's a part of me that has to say, how well were these cards really shuffled?
Dude, it was not robot.
We
Seems
clicked
like it should've
the
been fun.
shuffle button. We'll see how that goes.
All right, 6 of hearts and 7 of hearts.
The first two were pretty shuffled, so I'm gonna trust it.
For any viewers who want to look at the art for the game, I have just linked it there, and you can go see the amazing photorealistic burrito that Lara drew for us.
Well, I like the art a lot now that I realize that it's like planet morphing into an exploded planet.
Maybe I should have put more of like a curve to there, so it was less pure cylinder.
You only have so much real estate to
right
work
now,
with.
though. Now that I'm thinking about it, I got that Chipotle craving. I want some sofritas. I want a burrito. I also want a planet whose nature is the capture and the stranger and the alien.
Wow, really?
The
Amazing.
7 and 6 of hearts. 6 of hearts, the stranger. 7 of hearts, the alien. Let's think about this planet that is both the stranger and the alien.
How can a planet be alien to itself? I guess it could have different parts that are like split off from each other.
Oh, Vermin has a thought.
Well, that's a great direction to take it. I was gonna say, what if it was really specifically formed by like two planets, one with like an elliptical orbit and one with a more like circular orbit? That like the 1 in 1 million time they smashed into each other and they formed a new stable orbit.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh my goodness! So we're gonna have like a big two apples crashed into each other and formed a new, better apple. Look, I don't know why I went with apples, but
that seems
apples
good.
are like planets. They've got a little tiny baby crust and then a core that will probably kill you.
Apples do have a core.
So like, I'm gonna do some drawing, and everyone can like erase it or whatever if they want to. But like maybe we've got a big old honkin' crack across our midsection, and then one planet is one kind of way, and one half planet is the other kind of way, and in the middle is a real terrifying nightmare chasm.
Yeah, wow.
I
don't know.
Wait, isn't that the Hork-Bahir homeworld?
Is it?
Do they have a terrifying nightmare chasm?
Yeah, they live in a terrifying nightmare chasm. Give me a sec. Okay, y'all draw some stuff. I'm going to look up Hork-Bahir homeworld.
That sounds perfect, yes.
Okay. We're a big fan.
So if it's the stranger and the alien, maybe there's something with like communication or like getting across. The middle is difficult, so the different people on the different sides are kind of still strangers to each other, even though this collision has presumably happened hundreds or thousands of years ago or something. There might be a lot of
probably
like,
almost millions of years ago, because it would take a long time to recover
to re-sphere,
any ecosystem from either side.
Yeah. Maybe there's something like a I just read the Broken Earth trilogy, which is really good, and it has part of it where a continent gets sort of divided by like a whole line of volcanoes that are blocking things off. But then we'd have to deal with like the atmosphere getting messed up. I don't know. I guess this is an alien planet. Maybe the volcanoes just work different there.
Or the species that evolve are like bred to deal with the stuff that comes with volcanoes. Like maybe they're like silicon-based life forms and they breathe nitrogen instead.
Ooh.
So like the density of carbon dioxide is not actually a nasty thing for them. They can grow and eat and use the ash.
That's cool.
Okay.
Maybe that's one of our two species, and then the other one is something else.
Cool. Okay, great. Yeah.
Because then
the next thing we're going to do is define the factions that exist here. So, like,
true,
we can come up with more about what they are. I cannot find a quick reference to what I think the Hork-Bahir homeworld looks like. I swear it's got a big old freaking canyon that makes up the entirety of it.
I will say I looked it up after the podcast, and it is Hork-Bahir.
Oh man,
which is so disappointing.
Your way is so much better. I'm gonna keep saying it Hork-Bahir.
Yeah.
So anything else we want to do on the planetary level before we zoom into our faction level?
I like the idea that the stranger can also, like, not only are they estranged per se, but like there was life on both the planets beforehand. It was like, you know, the astronomically low chances. But now that life has re-evolved, it was like life closer to what we as the mushroom and flora people are. And now it's something much weirder than us.
Ooh.
It's life like we've probably never seen it as these two factions.
That's cool. So it's strange even to our seasoned spacefaring folks.
Should we go on to define our factions then?
Let's do it.
Okay. Someone read the factions part of this.
Each of you draws another card. This time it tells you about a major faction on the planet. This faction might be in control of the planet, it might be invading, it might be rebelling, it might just be like 4 friends and a hanger-on, and then later on one other guy. A bunch of scrappy teens who can turn into animals. Can be a whole faction.
Okay.
That's your call. The way the game works, a faction with one person and a planetary government faction are equally powerful, or at least equally able to change things sufficiently to count as a victory, because that's what Animorphs is about. It's about 5 to 6 teens of various species just taking on a whole government worth of interplanetary invaders. So we're going to define our factions separately and then share them with each other. And the faction that you describe here is going to be your faction, the one that you are guiding to victory. So there's going to be the not necessarily aligned with us, but maybe the ones we're manipulating. Who knows how much they know or care about us. But we're messing with them for sure. There are our pawns on this chessboard. So there's going to be the Gardener faction and the Fabric faction.
Right,
and
so Gardener faction there, Fabric faction here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
7 of diamonds. Gardeners, we are dealing with the threat.
Okay.
And y'all, Fabric, if you must, endure the suspicion.
Okay, what a good oracle. Very helpful.
I love it. Alex, what's the threat like?
Let's see. I think the threat has to be like, what is it? It feels like it would be something that is unexpected, right? Threats kind of come out of nowhere. So it could either be a species that we've brought with us to like try and invade the planet, the way that the Yeerks brought the Hork-Ba'ir with them.
Okay.
Or it could be maybe something that we have suddenly like uplifted. Like maybe the plants were doing pretty poorly on this like low sunlight silicon-based life form world, but maybe we were able to alter one of the existing forms of plant life so that now all the dandelions are, sentient or something.
I like the idea of a dramatically and suddenly uplifted planet or uplifted species. Like maybe we didn't even do it on purpose. It's just our presence here has resulted in the sudden uplift. Our psychic background residue.
It just gives brains to plants.
It just gives brains to plants. It's obviously it stands to reason. We all understand how plants work. Is it just little plants? Or are we gonna go like full tree beard here? Are we gonna get freaking ents?
I want big plants. I think that sounds fun. It would be a little too silly if we had to be like, and then they come crawling along the ground, right? So maybe there's, I guess we can come up with the different like species of plants that are in our faction because we have a whole planet worth of plants to work from.
Okay. It's all the plants. And that's what makes it such a threat because they're everywhere.
That's a big old threat.
Cool.
Every good thing that at silicone-based life forms, you probably don't need to eat the plants. I mean, maybe you can if you want to.
I don't know.
If you want to.
Ecosystems normally require enmeshing.
Yes. Not when we're around.
It's a jumps game. This is not a planet that enmeshes easily. We add something.
Yes,
we get to add something to our map that is important to our faction, that is important to the threat. A city, a fortification, a natural site, a weapon.
I feel like there's got to be like one good rainforest somewhere on the planet, right? That's like our home base of like, this is the garden from which our plant legions can most readily spring.
Where do we want
And it's probably far away from the horrible middle part.
Yeah, maybe it's like is it at the pole? Like everything has heated up so much?
That's cool.
So
the pole is just cool enough.
Here we are. I'm drawing in. That's what a jungle looks like.
That's true.
We got some like extendy, making a way downtown.
Walking fast.
Faces pass. And we're core bound.
All right. Did we get everything about them? Yep. Cool. So that's our faction.
Okay.
And over to you two.
Yes, tell us about the suspicion.
Okay. What have you got so far, Dad?
Well, okay, one of the things about a suspicion is that it's going to be subtle and not obvious, not right out there in your face. I'm kind of thinking that in line with our innate nature, it is something like the fungi that inhabits the soil.
I have a maybe a twist. Dad, you're vaguely familiar with Pokemon, right?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay.
How can anyone not be vaguely familiar with Pokemon?
It's better for me to check.
Are you about to have a faction of pseudo-woodos?
You know, I was gonna take it in a slightly different direction. You said suspicion, so like they're
Okay,
subtle
good.
and they're hard to catch. I was gonna go with a faction of parasects and crustles. These like so Dad, a parasect is a little crustacean lobster, and he's got a big mushroom on his back, and the mushroom is basically in charge. And a crustle is the same thing, but it's a little crab with just like a slab of compressed earth on its back. It
I
looks
found
like
a
dirt lasagna.
I have found both a cute picture and a slightly more accurate and extremely disturbing picture that I could share.
Give us the disturbing picture.
I figured so, but I thought I would ask. Okay, let's see. Open this in a new tab. Here we go. Just drop that into the chat there for everyone. Oh, you guys
in the comments zone? Yes.
put it in the private chat as well in case that's easier to click on or anything.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely click on.
Yeah, it's a lot, huh?
Yeah. Horrible.
I don't know if I love it, but I like it.
I'm gonna go grab a picture of a crustle and drop that into the other chat as well.
Okay. Okay, while you're doing that, everybody shut up for a moment. I would like to point out that millions of years earlier, a massive asteroid had hit the Hork-Bahir planet, homeworld's northern pole, which had shattered the crust, especially around the equator, opening massive valleys that cut deep, deep into the planet's surface, valleys with steep, rugged walls. It does have a giant fuck-off chasm around the equator. So we've got Hork-Bahir on this world. They're not going to interact with them, but I promise they're there.
There's just a couple of them.
There's just a couple of them.
Just a Hork-Bahir, just like loping through the fields.
Just
real
scraping off bark with its elbows or whatever they do.
Crustle, man.
Crustle.
They're weird little dudes.
I like them.
So is your faction a bunch of crustles?
I like the idea that they're these little lobsters that can hide and maybe have a symbiotic relationship with mushrooms. They're easy to hide because they're like silicon based and they just look like rocks. So then they'll like get down, eat some food, and then you just see like a herd of them just like out of the ash and like cruise along.
Cool.
How do you feel about that?
That'll work.
Okay, cool.
All right, this is beautiful.
They have that mushroom connection.
Someday we'll find it. That mushroom connection.
Oh, we have to draw something that's important to our faction.
You got to draw something. Yeah.
Oh. Any ideas?
It can be a city, a fortification, a natural site, a weapon, basically any big cool thing.
A giant lobster that you can see from space.
I was kind of thinking a natural site, like maybe a homeland to these crusticles. What the hell are they? I have to write this
crusticles.
Yeah, that way we're not violating copyright. Don't sue us, Nintendo.
Yeah.
A different thing, different thing.
Is.
Oh yeah, it's not a crustle. It's a crusticle. That's gonna be funny to me for a while. Okay, what kind of a homeland would they have? Do you think? Like a mountain, maybe, or like a mountain range?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems cool.
Yeah, they're kind of
These are some mountains.
a land crab type thing, and their armor protects them from the violence of the environment.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Carcinization happens even here.
It's true. Have you become a crab lately?
No, we
You
reject
should
it.
check.
We will
Talk to
stay
your
as
doctor if you
perfect
haven't.
plant-like beings.
I'm gonna put a volcano right here, just because that seems fun. Yeah.
I love it.
It's a very tectonically active area. Sometimes we get showered in rocks, but it's fine.
Yeah, they probably like that.
Yeah.
Well, the rocks just bounce off.
Doink.
Take a little bath in some lava, get yourself a harder shell.
Ooh.
There you go.
I'm also,
Okay.
just because it bothers me that we don't have any yet, I'm gonna draw us like a little ocean. Because
That's
we
fair.
deserve nice things.
We do. And then you can read us about the weakness.
All right. Oh, that one pen stroke really went out of bounds.
Oh no. Part of the ocean just flew off into space when the big crash happened, and it.
Oh yeah, there's just like
taking its
big
time
like
coming
ice.
back.
Still there.
It's like a comet that's sticking out of the planet. We're tidally locked. Okay, so I gotta scroll back. The weakness. One last time, consult the oracle. This time, you will use the resulting card to define your opponent's faction. The card you drew indicates a weakness that they have, a thing that the faction is either limited by or struggling against. Now, remember that this isn't actually going to make them less powerful, so the point is to add nuance to the faction, not to hamper them. So don't use this weakness to completely undermine their ability to get work done. Instead, try to use it to complicate their efforts. Afterwards, each of you adds a detail to the map connected to your faction's weakness.
All right, so this is the crusticles weakness, and this is the ents weakness. God, a bunch of nerds on this freaking stream.
How did that happen?
So the crusticles are weak because of the Three of Hearts. The ents are weak because of the Queen of Hearts.
Three of Hearts is the message. Queen of Hearts
Message.
is the change.
Oh shit, our trees are going through menopause. But I'm not worried about that right now.
You know what they say, the Queen of Hearts is coming to visit.
The message that has rendered these mountain crabs weak. What kind of message is weakening them?
I feel like it's got to be like an ideology, right? Like
I was also thinking like a religious message of some kind.
Yeah, that seems cool. Maybe some of them have started to worship the giant flowers that I'm gonna say that maybe we're on like the moon.
Yeah, okay.
Did we land on a nearby moon? Because it would be a little weird to have our big flowery bodies right on the planet, given that both of our factions are there, both of our characters, as it were, are there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can draw that over to the side.
So there's a moon that is like brimming with our giant flowery brilliance.
Yeah, here we
And
go.
some of these little crabby crabs have decided that we are a message, and that they are they need to celebrate the plant life, you know?
Mhm.
It's a sign that these newly sentient plants are truly, you know, foreordained by whatever gods a crab has. I'm gonna draw a little church on the mountain.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So
very
here's a
good.
little church.
Oh no. I'm doing this with a trackpad, everyone.
I'm excited to watch it happen. Oh.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. That's a flower. Big space flower.
Nice.
And y'all can draw yourselves on down here. Or however you like.
And there we go. There is a church on top of the mountain. It's got a little flower insignia on top because that is where they go to do their flower celebrations. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And
Okay.
in so doing, we undermine their efforts to fight against us.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And that image that I drew, at least, is to scale. The flower is about 1 moon high.
Okay.
I lied when I said they were skyscraper sized earlier. I meant moon sized. Excuse me.
A moon is like the skyscraper of the planet.
Space.
Right?
Extremely accurate, if you think about it.
I just am imagining like space elevator sized flowers like running out of a planet. Wild. Big leaves.
Someday we'll get there.
So the change for these walkie trees. That's our. So how do you feel about like climate change?
Ooh.
It works.
He's
So,
thinking.
but climate change can go in different directions.
Yeah.
So,
That's like my broad pitch is that there's a climate change that they're having to deal with. The word that they said was like a rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Never heard of one of those being threatened by a climate change. I don't know.
yes, we're entering new ground here.
You've never seen this even on your TVs. So you say that can go multiple directions. What do you feel like is the most interesting one here?
Oh. Having it dry up seems a little bit,
A little too harsh, maybe?
yeah, I think so.
What if it just got colder? It's not drier, but it is colder, and so like just the idea that like you have these like very big, beautiful things, and like they've never experienced frost before,
Yeah.
and they've never experienced hail.
Uh-huh.
And like our faction doesn't mind so much because like crabs will evolve anywhere.
Yeah.
And evolve to do anything. But like these plants are not used to being pelted, they're not used to being cold. And so they're like struggling against this environmental change as the planet starts to like hit homeostasis.
That's so fun.
That's very good.
I love it. That's then a thing our like factions can struggle with is like, no, we need to like, grab control of the temperature of the planet and try to slide it in our direction.
How do you feel about that, Dad? Any other twists or wrinkles you want to throw in?
Well, this is change. And so that doesn't mean it can't suddenly reverse.
Yeah. We're at this precipice, change-wise. Okay.
So, maybe it starts in the direction of cold, but it doesn't have to stay getting colder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a big cloud in to represent, like, an ash cloud, but then I'm going to put a question mark on it.
That's cool. Oh, I think actually, if I'm looking at the rules correctly, each of us is going to add a detail to the map connected to our own weakness. So we goofed up earlier.
Oh, whoops.
You should have drawn the little flower church, but that's okay.
I'm happy with what you drew, and if you're
Okay.
happy with a little question mark cloud,
Love it.
I'm very happy with it.
cool. So I think that means that we pop over to Carl. Dad, you're going to read about gameplay.
Okay. Gameplay.
Did you lose the document?
No, I didn't lose the document.
You just have to scroll back to the middle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this
Okay,
will be the
gameplay. Your world-altering shenanigans take place over 3 phases. The change, where have we heard that before? The fallout, and the legacy. The change. This phase is simple. You use your virtually omnipotent abilities to make one grand change to the world. The sky is theoretically the limit, but while the rules of your wager don't expressly forbid you from performing miracles, it is generally considered more dignified to change things with a bit of subtlety. Describe the change you made to your opponent, starting with whichever omnipotent god entity is less evil.
Damn it.
That's going to be a hard choice, isn't it?
Who's less evil here?
The fallout. Okay, you've both made a change. Should I go on reading?
We can probably do the change first and then hit the fallout, because the fallout is kind of long. It's got a lot of details. Yeah. But like that's where the game, a part of the game happens.
Okay.
So yeah, which one of us is less evil? We're saving the universe.
Well.
Okay, so
I'm going to say objectively, you are definitely less evil.
Yeah.
That would kind of be my feeling too.
All right.
We might not think of ourselves as evil, but
this may be the first actual failure of me to do the who goes first rules that don't make me go first, which I'm quite upset with.
you should have said the more evil faction goes first.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I was going to be a good lady, but I'm not.
Well,
okay. What would be a subtle change that could happen to our crab friends or like life on this planet that would be potentially beneficial for them?
And just for perspective, we're going to be seeing how this change plays out over like decades and centuries. So it can definitely be a little seed you plant that has a good long time to sprout.
Okay, so does this need to be a change to the crusticles or to the world at large?
It is whichever you want to do. I mean, in theory, it could even be a change to the plants, but I feel that would be uncouth for the good guy faction.
So what we want to do, I think, is to move the planet's plant life in the direction of embracing the wholeness of the entire world.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
But how to do that?
The wholeness of the world.
The interconnectedness.
Right now, there is they don't have any other like clear species on their side, and I wonder if we want to lean them towards wholeness, maybe we bridge this gap in the middle of the world.
Yes.
What if we bridge it with ocean?
Ooh.
Like,
So the chasm in the middle of the world gradually fills up as an ocean.
yeah.
I like that.
That's some omnipotent level power, and I am very here for it.
We got it.
We got it.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if we take this this big spike over here to be canonical, there's just a
And we
bunch
do.
of ice that is slowly melting, and it's gonna fill in the chasm, and like we're gonna end up with 2 continents basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh, and some of your plants are gonna end up like boggy deep, but like that also is an opportunity to adapt to salt water and come visit.
Yeah, that's so fun. Oh, that's so in line with your philosophy. I love it.
Okay.
All right. So y'all are
Do I
bridging
draw
a
that
gap.
now?
It's not actually in the rules, but it makes sense that you do. So
Okay. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
guess.
blue highlighter so that we see that it's over the chasm.
cool. What are we gonna do? What are the gardeners going to do to ensure that the plants have a better shot of taking over this world?
We're gonna give them all guns.
Oh, plant guns! Yeah, obviously.
What are we gonna do? I do like
Fucking
that.
crabs are gonna invent pesticides. Just you wait.
Oh, well, that would
Herbicides.
Yeah, herbicides.
you'll be going against your peaceful nature, just as we planned.
No!
Let's see. I feel like we have to react to the fact that this is now a significantly waterier planet, right?
Yeah, like you said give them all guns, and that was very funny. But what if we actually do give them all jet skis, though? Like, like
So you have a
somehow
jungle on jet
some
skis?
strange genetic twist. An ent launches a seed which lands and grows up into a jet ski ent, a member of the species, a plant that has been perfectly adapted to jet ski its companions. They like some member of the species just become natural boats.
Planskis. Roman Planskis.
No!
So is that a yes or no on that, Alex?
Sure, why not? They've got oh gosh, can they at least be lily pads or something? Do they have to have motors? Okay. Yes. They're jet skis. They do that thing where there's like a little weird squirt of water constantly coming out the back for completely unknown reasons. Yeah. Plant
You gotta keep the engine turning over. That's why that happens.
living bio jet skis. Because obviously our god plant species has ranged far and wide across the galaxy. We've seen Earth, and it turns out that humans actually invented the best possible water transportation method, the jet ski. It's the most enjoyable one. So we wanted our plants to have fun while they were conquering the world.
Lara, I don't want to tell you what to do here, but I do want to suggest that the handlebars are green like leaves. That's my only
the
suggestion.
handlebars are green like leaves. I made an error there. Thank you for fixing it. There we go.
Yep. That's the little tree part.
Perfect.
So,
They also bear delicious fruits that our other plants can eat while they jet ski.
Did these plants not photosynthesize?
No, they eat meat.
they eat crab and crab alone.
Okay, they probably do both. They're they're omnivore plants now. That's
Oh no,
canon.
they eat crab and shrimp scampi. You know, not by crab alone.
Right.
Oh,
They'll go to a Red Lobster, get the unlimited shrimp special. Just really chow down on it. All right. So
Okay,
I just
so
realized that your faction is now surf and turf.
Yep. Yep.
oh.
What were
Okay,
you
so we
saying,
both
Dan?
made a change. What happens now?
all right.
All right.
The
Well-
fallout. Okay,
Ah.
you've both made a change. So what happens now? Well, war generally. That's just how these things go.
War never changes.
Grab your 6 dice. Quickly determine what each of these dice represents, except the d6, see below. Each die is an asset, a person or a weapon or an army or a city or a concept or some other kind of thing that is relevant to your faction. The larger the die size, the more important the thing is. But that doesn't mean it's physically powerful. Your d20 could be a single red-tailed hawk if it's something that ends up providing a disproportionately huge amount of intel and moral support to your faction as a whole.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, well, D6 is a morphing cube, and I'll describe what that means momentarily. But for D4, D8, D10, D12, and D20, we each need to come up with just one thing that our faction uses that this die size represents. So D4 could be an army, D4 could be a particularly powerful individual, what the heck ever.
And where are we gonna write this down?
I have no freaking clue. I guess next to the planet.
We have margins next to the planet, so
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. Okay, cool. Because we can do
Which of
text
these
there.
is a text box? Here's a text box.
Perfect.
And 4. D6 is a morphing cube.
Animorphs.
D10. D12. We had to put in the morphing cube somewhere, otherwise Applegate would sue us.
For
Or
not
Applegate
representing.
wouldn't sue us. I don't know.
Yeah. She would be mad that we weren't representing her vision with integrity. Yeah.
K.A. Applegate, if you're watching,
And we know you are.
we're just really happy to have you here. That's all.
Absolutely chuffed. So I want to say that our D20, because I'm rolling with what you did, yes and style, is a prototype aircraft carrier yacht plant. Because I think our plants are now, they're about boats and they are about like luxury living. So they have just a beautiful flowering, like huge tree yacht that is just full of, you know, pools and lido decks and what else do you have on yachts? There are amateur magician plants just like making their living there, doing some close-up magic to entertain the other plant guests, and they also yeah, I said aircraft carrier. It also has plant planes on it. This thing is nuts. So get ready for us to have command of the sea and the sky with our beautiful new. What do we? This thing has to have a name. You come up with the
The
name.
Arboreacht?
The Arboreacht. Yep.
Okay, sold. Love it. No.
Jesus.
Are we taking turns or are we just doing helter skelter? Because I did not plan this.
Whoever comes up with an idea, go. I promise you, it can't be dumber than a yacht that's also an aircraft carrier.
This is just for your faction, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So this is something
You-
that we
you
will
don't
be
get the
using to fight
Arboreot.
you.
Or to uplift ourselves. I guess both in that case. It's nice for us to.
All right, we got our D10. We call them the florid ones.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
These are a form of shrubbery that... Why did I go with an accent for this? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You were saying shrubbery, and you absolutely just leaned into some Monty Python all of a
You
sudden.
really, that
And
just
I
came
can't-
bubbling right back up.
I
Fucking
can't
hell.
fault you.
They're a form of shrubbery that grow perfectly crab-sized. And indeed, we are able to do some trimming to make them crab-shaped. They're, wow, what's the thing you get in like a fancy garden? A topiary.
Topiary.
Yes, they're a topiary that looks exactly like a crab, except instead of a big honkin' mushroom back, it is made of leaves and it has a back coated in flowers, so that it can approach these crabs on their level and attempt to influence those who have given over to the Church of the Flower.
Oh.
They're sort of our inside men, as it were.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that it just rolls up like, how do you do, fellow crabs? I too am a crab. I love to eat. Whatever it is, we eat. Not the flesh of crabs.
Is it
So
rocks? I bet it's rocks.
Devin, I feel like we need to do something with embracing the Church of the Flower.
I was thinking that. I was thinking
Because-
thinking of just making that one of our assets, actually.
That's awesome.
Yes,
All right.
please do.
Yes.
Cool. I'm thinking for that one, our D12 probably. It's maybe not our greatest asset,
Uh-huh.
but it's, if we lean into it, it can be.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
So D12 is the Church of the Flower.
I'll go ahead and oh, we have our own thing on the other side. I did not
You do.
see
Yeah.
that because I'm split screening.
Ah, there.
Okay. Are we still visible if I do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. And then so I was imagining, like, what if our species has also, like, because we're like rock crab and mushroom crab, what if we like developed a terraforming technology based on volcanoes?
Yeah.
And like
Yes,
it's
please do.
not meant to be a weapon, but it absolutely could be, purposefully or accidentally. It
Yes.
lets us like create new space.
Mm-hmm.
You into that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? D8, D10?
Yeah, let's go with D10.
Okay. Terraforming tech. I don't know if that's how you spell terraforming, but we'll go with it.
That's how
I
I
think it
spell
is.
it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Heck with carcinization, bring on the vulcanization. Oh.
I also am really tempted, Dad. I don't know how you feel about this. For D20, I was like, what if we just did lots? There's just lots of us. There's just a whole bucket full of crabs.
So So D20 is
It's just population.
population.
That's super awesome. I love it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers.
Okay.
All right. I kind of want one of ours to
Procreation.
just
damn it.
be one guy. Like,
Yeah.
our
Get some
D8
characters
just be
in
like
here.
Jerry the Tree. You come up with a better name for Jerry.
We definitely need a better name.
Are you sure?
let's-
You already have an aircraft carrier named the Arboreot. You
Well-
could just have Jerry the Tree.
The tree's name is no, I had a good joke and then I forgot it. Oh no. It's Professor Oak.
No.
Cherry Garcia.
Let's say that
Poison Ivy.
all the good plant names are already taken. Oh, here we go. I have to do this in honor of a friend of mine who is a scientist and goes by Dr. Dendrite on Twitter. So this
Ooh.
tree's name is Dr. Dendrite.
That's
Is
pretty good.
Dr.
Shout out to
Dendrite
your
indeed
friend.
a healer of trees? Like,
Sure.
hell yes.
Yeah, get Isaac in here. He's on the stream now. He's canon.
Love it.
Dr. Dendrite, the tree healer.
Is gills too small? Like, what if some of our crabs just have gills?
That's
That's
awesome.
perfect.
Dad, are you into that?
I don't understand where you're going.
Oh, it's just like some of them can go underwater, and like, I'm imagining that as being like a D4. It's just like, yeah, some of us have gills, and we can go underwater and hang out with underwater stuff. Bye! Because they're all floating on the top.
Don't they all have gills?
Well, I'd imagine them as like land crabs. Yeah, but it like they get okay. So maybe they all have gills, but it's like something that they mostly overlook.
Yeah.
So it's a D4.
Oh, that's fun. They haven't considered the tactical applications of their gills. Oh, that fits in
who
with
does.
that fits in with what I was thinking for the D4 actually. Which is I want us to have a little, because I like us branching off new little plant species. Maybe we've got some like sort of like a geothermal vent dwelling type plant that lives down at the bottom of the ocean, like along the covered over rift, feeding
Okay.
off all that good energy and just being sort of an extremophile.
Extremophile on what? Plant? Extremophile plant. Do we give
yeah.
it a name? What's Carry the extremophile plant?
Well, it's like a type. What are the actual geothermal vent guys called?
Geothermal vent plant. Searching. Come on, give me a name. You're just saying chemical harvesting microorganisms, Wikipedia. You've
Those
screwed
wiggly
me.
guys with the red.
The Wigglies.
What do you call?
Plant anemones.
I'm just gonna call them hydrothermal algae, and that's where I'm going. Hydrothermal
Oh, I'm thinking of
algae.
tube worms. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Could be.
Maybe.
Tube.
The
worm.
little fellows that hide in like pumice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Ah.
Okay. Calling them tube
So
worms because I
maybe-
don't know how to spell algae and I'm not going to look it up.
Ooh.
I do off the top of my head for dumb, weird reasons.
They're called Riftia pachyptila. So maybe they're the Riftia plants.
You ever get really into algae for a while? Actually, I remember exactly what it is. You ever read Becky Chambers and then just never forget how to spell the word algae? That was me.
No.
Did not. Amazing.
This is my book shout out. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Oh yes.
Really
Oh
lovely
shit! I need to
sci-fi.
read that.
Oh, it's
Yes,
so
you do.
good.
We'll have a
Oh.
book club after this. It'll be the
Yeah,
spin-off
yeah.
podcast.
You would love Dr. Chef, Lara.
Oh, I believe
Dr.
it.
Chef is pretty good. Dad, have I made you read that yet?
No.
Okay, I'll bring it to you tomorrow.
Even that
Okay.
I finally made Alex read the Ancillary Justice series. I think I am now
yeah.
owed a
I
demand
just read it.
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Anne Leckie. Dad, you've read Anne Leckie,
She's
right?
the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Raven's Tower is my absolute favorite right now.
Ooh.
But I'm a little freak who loves like big world building and gods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of big world building and gods, Dad, we've got a D8 that we need to fill in. Any thoughts?
Oh, what do we need?
So we have an adaptation as one. We have technology. We have excuse me. We have an organization, and we have ourselves. I guess another piece of biology.
You don't have a character yet.
Yeah, we could make it a specific little crab friend.
Go for it. I was thinking we could make ours like a weapon. Was what I was trying to think up. Like I'm going hard for D12.
Yeah, that sounds cool. We are the villains after all.
We're the bad guys. So
A gun.
no, I'll come up with something better than that. But not much better.
It's a good anti-crab weapon.
Mortars?
A unicorn. Oh,
I'm suddenly into the idea of leaning into your mythology background, Dad.
Okay.
What like mythic hero would be the best one to have it be like Crab Achilles or Crab Beowulf? Like we have one warrior crab who's done the 12 labors of Heracles.
Well, we could go with Loki Crab
Loki?
as a trickster.
yes!
You know what?
Loki-
I'm super into
Loki
that.
crab. Yeah. So
We've got this little freak, this shape-shifting crab who gives birth to a horse. That's my
Okay.
personal favorite Loki story.
Oh, yeah.
Sleipnir is am I pronouncing that right, Dad? Sleipnir?
Sleipnir.
Sleipnir.
Oh, thank God! I've never known how to pronounce that. We're gonna have learning how to pronounce things that we've only read. That's after the book club, after the show.
Oh,
In the spin-off to the spin-off podcast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
oh my favorite story about pronunciation of things that you've only read is child molester.
Can you type that into chat? Oh,
Molester.
That's it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That's amazing.
Oof.
Just a small molster.
Yeah. Cute.
Oh goodness.
Furry.
grew up completely convinced that hors d'oeuvres and hors d'oeuvres were two completely different things. Like, I
Yeah.
knew hors d'oeuvres were a thing, but
I had the same sort of thing happen with segue. I thought the thing that you did in conversation was a segue, and the thing that happened in music was a sieg.
oh, that's really good.
It's like my brain has ended up in this weird place as well with music, where it's like, oh, if somebody does something against you because of what you did, that's a reprisal. They reprise. But if it happens in a song and it's like later in the second act you're doing the same song again, that's a reprise. They're different.
Totally different thing. Unrelated.
If I pronounce them differently, it conveys that meaning.
Yeah. Okay. You were going to get our last one.
Yeah, we have a weapon. It's not quite a mortar because it's not firing explosive shells. It's just firing bits of stone. And I do, of course, call it the rock lobber.
The rock lobber?
The rock lobber. For attacking these rock lobsters.
Yeah, I see that now.
I thought you were just going to call it the rock lobster.
I mean, that's good too. I might just call it the rock lobster. Yeah, okay. That's
Okay.
better.
All right.
Because that is a great pun to get to.
It lobs Rockster.
What's wrong? Oh my goodness.
Before we move on, can we take a quick break to stretch?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. We've covered a lot of ground. It is 7:35. How do we feel about 10 minutes coming back at 7:45?
Good.
Cool.
Perfect. Thanks so much, everyone hanging out in the audience or watching us on the VOD. I am so glad you're sticking around for this because it is about to get even more buck wild.
Be right back. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I need to get up real close so you can all appreciate that I glittered my face for this. I did this for you, Twitch. I do it all for you.
It's great. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. At least vocally in the call, we appreciate it. Can I shout out? I got some little bees on some little plants as my earrings
Oh,
Oh, those are super cute.
max it out.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, support independent creators. Peripheral.us. They release earrings every Saturday. They're great.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I want to tell you all about the morphing cube.
Let's talk about the morphing cube. Go for it. I'm
Great
ready.
idea.
Okay, your D6 is a morphing cube. It's a bit of fancy technology from a distant planet that allows living creatures of all stripes to absorb the biological information of another creature and then morph into an exact duplicate of it. You may be familiar with the basic concept as it was used in the popular sci-fi adventure series that used transformation as a plot device to tell surprisingly dark war stories to middle schoolers. Ben 10. My favorite joke in the whole piece. Because the morphing cube is such a vital piece of technology, it is largely assumed that each of you would use your first move to give the secrets of morphing to your chosen faction, and so we'll just elide over that and give them morphing from the get-go. While the most common and obvious way to learn how to morph is by touching an alien cube, obviously, it's entirely possible that your faction's particular take on it uses slightly different technology. Morph Watch, Morph Ray, Morph Blast, it's all good. So, now that we have determined the elements that make up our faction in this battle, we share what we have, and we're all going to roll our dice at the same time. And while we were on break, I was hard at work coming up with a different, hacky way to adapt to this rolling dice. Which is why we're going back here, where I found that there are some spinners.
Aha.
Sorry, let me put that on the stream. Here we go. So we've got up at the top.
Look at that.
The gardens spinners, the spinners for the ents, and down here at the bottom, the crabs spinners as envisioned by the fabric. And because some of the rules will require us to change the values on dice, which is not actually super easy. Super easy if we were at a table, but not so easy using free internet technology.
That's a very good point. Yeah, they don't let you just pick it up and turn it to a 3.
Yeah, we have some poker chips here, which we're going to use to, like, if the number on the die is different than what it says, we'll just use some poker chips and it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine.
It'll be
Alex
fine.
is going to be fine. Don't yell at me.
It seems like it's going to be fine. I didn't do any work on this. This was all Lara on the back end getting this stuff working. So
we're going to roll all of these dice.
We're able to flip dice upside down, right?
Correct. So that's going to be interesting.
I just realized that absolutely doesn't work with a D4.
You know, it does not. You'd have to balance it on point.
Unplaytested.
Wait, hold up.
Game.
Hold up. I might be about to save everyone.
No, it is in the rules. It is adapted for on a D4. 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 are considered to be opposites.
And let me double check that.
Goodness.
Yep. So using my flip overable D12 format D4, I can confirm that that is indeed accurate. You can't really see it because the camera won't focus on it, but it does indeed have a 4 opposite. Oh, nope, that opposite's a 2. This 4 is opposite a 3. Okay, so this sucker obviously is not regular on what is opposed by what, but that's fine. We're going to do Lara's way. That's okay.
Okay.
The first pair I checked was the same, and so I was like, oh, clearly. But no longer.
It's all good. It's all fine.
I do love these though, because they're a better shape. They're not sharp.
We start with the player that has the lowest single die result. And I believe that is the garden with the only 2 on the board.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, each player, or team, or whatever, will take turns making one action: attack, morph, or pass, and describing the result. Remember that you're not members of the faction, you're watching them from a god's eye view. Your narration should be interested and pleased, but ultimately detached. So if you attack, you choose one of your dice, target an opponent's die which has an equal or lower value, then describe how your asset takes out theirs. So how precisely our... Oh, God, that's on a completely different tab. It's fine. How our florid ones destroy your gills. I don't know. Wow, we rolled a lot of 3s. Our rolling is not good. Then we re-roll the die that we used. Or we morph. We take one of our dice and flip it over to show the value on the opposite side. We must then reduce the value of the morphing cube by 1 and describe how this asset is benefited. Being benefited by the ability to morph their physical forms into cool animals and aliens and whatever. Your morphing cube is an asset. If it gets taken out, you lose the ability, but you do get the opportunity to do 1 free morph of all your remaining assets when that happens. Yes, that's going to be complicated to do in this table, but it wouldn't be in real life.
Yep.
And if you pass, you pass. The phase ends either when one side loses all their assets or when both players pass in a row, which would indicate a tie. So, with all that on the table, Alex, our trees are fighting some crabs.
Okay. I am going to... I think morphing seems like a good idea, unfortunately, because our highest die only rolled a 3. So I feel like if I flip that D12 over, it's got to come up higher than 3.
Yeah. What is opposite 3 on a D12? Why, it's going to be 13 minus 3 or 10? 10? Yeah.
Seems right.
It's going to be a 10.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll just... Oh, I see.
Assuming that your D12 is optimized, which D10s are often not.
All right.
Well, ours is, I promise.
Wait, are we going to have to add up 4 ones to make 4 on our poker chips?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We're enduring.
What? Hold on. Can't we just put the values next to the thing on the map? Wouldn't that be simpler? We just use the spinner when we need this spinner.
Yes, that would be easier. Let's do that.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I'm going to start a new text box here.
All right, I'm getting rid of these false prophets, the poker chips. Just put it in parentheses next to it.
2, 6, 3, 3, 3, 18. 18. Oh, just in parentheses next to it? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
So we've got a 10 for our rock lobsters and a 5 for our morphing cube. Oh, well, you can... Yeah, that's the ones that you can't see. Oh! We're doing it live, folks.
Okay.
Thank you for that good suggestion.
That's a very good suggestion. I'm very happy with that. Please tell me how the morphing cube improves our rock lobsters, Alex.
Yeah. And the rock lobsters were the rock shooting guns, right?
Yeah, they do shoot rocks at lobsters.
Okay. How does morphing help a gun work better? Well, I think that this gun was another piece of imperialist ass foreign technology that we, the plant gods of the garden, brought in and taught to our plant folk, but they were not able to use it good because this particular type of weapon was originally designed for a species that had like very dexterous hands, and I think for all their other wonderful traits, a lot of our anti-planty types either have like floofy leafy hands that don't grip good, or like gnarly tree-y hands that aren't very articulated. So it was just hard for them to maneuver a weapon of war such as this. So I think that we have a morphing DNA bank available to them, and they were able to just morph into a shape that could better actually grip these. And I think some of them were like, oh, this is great. I'm just going to stay in this shape and be like a weird... what are they now?
Are they chimpanzees with guns?
That is the same direction I was going, and I don't know how to feel about that. Oh, boy.
It's our psychic plant bond, Alex.
It really is, yes. The Guardtillery. Yeah, let's say that they are like, let's K.A. Applegate this up. They are 4-armed, 2-tailed, orange monkeys.
Sufficiently K.A. Applegated.
Yeah. And their eyes are in their tummy.
We should just turn that into its own word. Like, when you make an animal fusion that's, like, kind of upsetting, it's just called applegating. Dad, do you have any memory of taxons?
I recognize the word.
Okay. So much the better, honestly.
They're the horrible ones.
They're the bad worms.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, we have all the power in this situation right now. They have just mighty morphed their plants, but we have the biggest dice around right now. So we could take out any of their nastier stuff. And in fact, the Church of the Flower and our population are safe right now. So it might do us some good to attack something that is less safe from them. I don't know. Got thoughts?
Nope,
that just spins it.
Drawing a blank.
Okay. Do you mind if I do the tactical side of this? Because this is my shit. Let's use our terraforming tech, and say that the florid ones. Let's take out the florid ones with the terraforming tech.
No, our florid one.
The
was an
least
accident.
evil thing we had.
It was. I mean.
Just tell me how it goes, and I'll hit delete.
So, Dad, if the terraforming tech is taking out the florid ones, do we just want to say that it's like their specific biology just does not work well with volcanic soil, and the roughness of the soil just like tore them to shreds before they could get close enough to do their deception?
That does sound good. What in terms of the dice rolls, what are we using for this?
So if you look at the what are you looking at is my question.
You mean what's on my screen?
Precis.
Yes, I'm looking at the the map.
Okay, so on the map, you see on our side, we've got those numbers in parentheses in front of the...
Oh.
Those are
Okay,
our dice
yes.
rolls. I'll keep updating that as they change, because every time we attack, we've got to re-roll that die. The reason I want to use the terraforming cube is because it's got a chance to roll something better, which many of our friends do not.
Yeah, you get some nice
Currently.
rolls.
Yeah, you rolled
Yeah, we
really
really
good,
did.
and I'm really mad.
Okay.
Okay, yes. I see. I think that's good.
Okay. Yes. Goodbye, florid ones. You were not ready for the heat and the sharpness.
Blam.
Oh, they were
Oh, could we-
not.
could
They
we
just
do,
they wilted as they tried to scrabble across this rough ground.
Could we
Okay,
do
and I'm
a
gonna
valiant
spin our spinner? I'm so sorry, Lara. If you look at the
no.
the spinners, we just rolled another 10.
What have you done? You
Amazing.
snagged. I hate.
Could we do a strike through on our thing instead of deleting it?
Can we do a strike through on our thing?
I think so. We got a little
li-
text controls.
Literally
up
have no idea.
I'm gonna try it out on the other
Maybe.
side. See if I can do it. Well, font style. Yeah, font style has a strike through. But
What the heck is
we're not
font
striking through
style?
terraforming tech. Stop it. Yeah. Boop.
Is it the T?
It's under B, under the bold, because it's bold, italics,
Oh,
and underlined right
okay.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
sorry,
it.
it-
Got it.
It gave me the
Oh.
tooltip, and the tooltip was
I
font
see what they're
style.
doing now.
It's
Yeah.
bold, italic, and underlined, so that we think it's three things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we need to freaking fight back.
Yeah, we are getting really taken out here. Jeez. The thing is, we might as well use our 18 because they have a 19 and could just take it out.
Fair point. So, shall we take out the Church of the Flower?
I guess yes. So I think the most effective way to do that with our aircraft carrier yacht is that we should spread using our plant aircraft leaflets that talk about the true message of the Church of the Flower. But what we do is we send two different versions to cause a schism within their church and have it fight against itself and devolve into two different little splinter religions that can't agree with each other.
That's very good, yes.
Presumably the teachings are written on a leaf that decays after a day or so, but so by the time anybody thinks to check, they're all gone. And they're like, no, I definitely remember it. It said the flowers love the number 5. They love the number
Moses
8.
crab
Right.
coming up from the ocean with 2 leaves.
Yes. These are very impermanent. This must be a sign.
Oh,
We've got a 13 on our re-roll. So we've used some of our aircraft carrier yacht's resources, but not. We haven't entirely run out of gas.
I'm gonna
As it
just
were.
really quickly drop poker chips over the spinners that we're not using.
Nice.
Cool.
And we took out your D10, right?
Yes. Oh, this is very clever.
Bad friend.
This is working. This is all working.
Yeah.
I did improv in college.
And you're doing it now.
Yes, and.
Hey. Okay. So, Dad, I'm not willing to give up the high ground with population yet. What do you say we have Loki Crab have a philosophical, like a mythic conversation with Dr. Dendrite?
Oh, yes. Oh,
That's
yes.
very good.
Dad, what does that look like? As
Okay.
I re-roll.
So, Loki Crab. Oof.
What's the outcome here? Does Dr. Dendrite join us? Does Dr. Dendrite begin working towards like the unification of the species?
Oh, yes. Dr. Dendrite. Absolutely. Loki convinces Dr. Dendrite that all the species work together. That doesn't matter whether you're a plant or a crab or something else, you're all part of the great oneness of everything. And Loki Crab is such a silver-tongued devil that Dr. Dendrite falls for it hook, line, and sinker.
Yes.
But I do see that Loki Crab has rolled a 1, so we will have our revenge.
Oh, good.
Only if you act quickly.
That's true. You know what? I think that is actually if I can take 2 in a row, Lara.
Please do.
I have an idea. So, whilst Loki Crab is visiting our wonderful shores on this diplomatic mission, they get word that there is actually a delicious delicacy never tasted by crab kind that is the Riftia plants. Deep
way
beneath the
down
ocean.
by the geothermic vents at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah. And, you know, we're not monsters, of course. We give Loki Crab a perfectly suitable, perfectly durable wooden bathysphere to go down in and harvest them. And like many tricksters undone by their hunger, Loki Crab goes on down there, and then it's made of wood, so it just immediately breaks and collapses. And, you know, they are not seen again for some time.
Oh, no.
Well played, Alex.
Thank you.
And our Riftia plants go up by 1, which I choose to interpret as them being bathed in the nutritious compost of decomposing Loki Crab.
All right. Goodbye, Loki Crab. Hello, our turn. Okay. So, the seduction of Loki Crab, that's good.
That's the fanfic that we write after this.
It's not a myth, it's not a legend, it's the fanfic.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's time for our population to take out that prototype aircraft
No!
carrier yacht plant, the Arbora yacht.
When you've got unlimited population growth, which we do on demand, you can overwhelm anything. The prototype aircraft carrier yacht plant was simply swamped.
And you only had one.
We only had one.
We only needed one.
We never
It
were
was
able to put them
perfect.
into production.
All right.
And it sank
Oh,
under the vast weight of gilled crabs.
so they were fine.
They were fine, sure.
That's great.
It's like Brer Rabbit and the Briar Patch. You know, they just went back to their home.
Oh.
Okay.
But surely the reroll has cost them something, right?
Well, let's find out.
Some. A little bit. We're down to 16. We still have...
Oh.
What one might call an invincible edge.
Yeah.
Population is like that.
It is like that.
When you've got a lot of crabs, there's not much that people can do.
Yeah. It's a very historically successful strategy even on our planet. Okay. And it's we have to have a higher number to win, right? Defender wins ties.
Attacker wins ties.
Hey,
so I say we go for that terraforming tech.
That
right?
seems good.
Seems like yeah, I think we've got our chimpanzees with guns.
Nope, they're monkeys. They have tails.
Okay, they're double monkeys. They have 2 tails.
Yeah,
double monkeys.
Monkey 2, the sequel to Monkey. I think
Planet of the grapes.
In response to this unwarranted destruction of the Arbora yacht, which to date has been used only to spread information to the people, we from our North Pole rainforest outfit all of the double monkeys with jet skis and guns. They got 4 arms, so that's 3 guns, 1 hand on the throttle, and we send them south. And we're like, y'all, you lob these rocks at anything that looks like it is terraforming technology, because if you destroy the terraforming tech, then presumably the islands upon which these crabs are dwelling are going to start collapsing in upon themselves without the terraforming technology to maintain them.
Nice.
And yeah, they lob rocks. Lots of them. Enough of them. What the heck is that? Our D10? Our D12?
Yep. Yes, our D12.
D12. Okay. Thank you.
And cover up our D10.
Oh, and it's down to a 5. Oh,
yikes.
no.
Yikes.
Oh no, why'd we send them off with all of our rock lobsters? We've made so many mistakes.
Let's
You know, we could stop all this morphing stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Since the tie goes to the attacker.
Yeah, you want a morphing cube against morphing cube?
I would love to see how that
battle.
goes.
Okay. What if it's this? So like this morphing technology has been given to us, both sides, right? Like we did not start with it. What if it turns out, because this is a stranger world, it's actually just like fundamentally incompatible with the biology of both species, and like we hadn't been using it, but something happens, and like it there's a disease, a morphing disease, and it just like makes it impossible for us to continue morphing without risking like horrible consequences.
Wild.
Or at least your side, it's impossible to keep morphing without consequences. This is a great time to do it too, because the only thing I think you can flip is that 5?
Right.
Yeah, so that 5 is going to turn into an 8. So we do get a complementary reactive morph, which I guess is an unmorph, right? So if this morphing technology is so dangerous, I think what happens is all of our double monkeys on their jet skis, you know, oh, well, jeepers, creepers, I guess we're going to have to unmorph. But because they were holding on to the rock lobsters at the time, and because the morphing was so unstable, I think they ended up having these rock lobsters, like, form into their being. So that now they are tree men riding jet skis with rock lobsters in their chests. That they just sort of...
And sometimes 3 of them, just pointing in weird directions, like where
pointing in every which way.
Yeah. Wild. Because it was an organic gun as well, right? So it kind of makes sense that the morphing cube might read it and go, "Oh, yeah, that's all one creature."
Okay.
And you got to re-roll your morphing cube.
Yeah, I did. Boop.
2. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're doomed, but
might as well go down swinging.
Do you want to go down swinging, or do we want to introduce
we could...
a house rule on top of this?
Well, one of the rules is that you can just pass. So I think potentially seeing that that our cause is about to be lost, we could just retire with dignity.
We could.
If we wanted
or we could figure out how to use rocks to destroy their gills.
So if both players pass in a row, the outcome is a tie.
This is true.
So you would be accepting a tie if we passed and then you passed, which
I see.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I don't know
just, it's against our beliefs, I feel like, to destroy another species.
Right. Well, we won't be destroyed. We'll just have our current set of military apparatus and frankly kind of rude culture setback. But we'll still be around.
Well, yeah. This is not the entirety of the universe. This is just this planet.
Mm-hmm.
One planet. We just want to destroy one planet.
And you're really just on the moon.
Yeah. only billions of lives, as stated earlier.
Only billions.
It's balls in your court, gang.
All right, punch it.
I say we take out those gills.
Take out the gills.
There is a chance that if they try to use their population to eat our Riftia plants, they will end up without
a 2 or something.
Rolling a 2. So yeah, I think what happens. Here's what happens. Unless you have a better idea, Alex. Here's what happens. Is that our newly remorphed plants with the rock lobsters embedded in them are too heavy, so they sink beneath the surface of the ocean. But when they get there, all just down below, it turns out they are a perfect kind of undersea force. They are providing a barrier beneath the surface. They can't shoot out very effectively, but any crab who tries to descend, tries to take advantage of their gills, finds themselves buffeted with rocks from below and forced to retreat, scuttle back up onto their island. And I know that crabs do scuttle as a matter of course, but I say scuttle in an insulting way as well.
Mm-hmm. Scuttling, derogatory.
And rock lobster. That's a 4. That's not great. They're running out of rocks.
Yep. They've done good work for us.
Okay, goodbye, gills. We hardly knew ye.
Okay, there's a very slim chance we can still win this.
Yeah.
You should probably pass.
Can you morph your morphing cube?
You can morph your morphing cube, but then you have to lower it by 1.
Okay, so we would morph to a 4 to get to a 3?
Yes.
Oh. Not quite as good as I had hoped.
It's better if you have a 1, I think.
It's pretty good if you have a 1, or if the other person has a 2. Okay, I think it's time to just throw our population at the problem of the rock lobsters.
That seems right.
I mean, that seems the natural thing to do, yeah.
Shooting
It really
us.
does.
There are too many of us to shoot.
It's they call it in the histories, they call it Sea Day. Not like the ocean, like the letter.
Like a letter.
Our gills are no longer a tactical advantage, but our numbers are.
Oh no!
Absolutely.
A parachute of crabs descends upon the ocean floor.
They've got the
destroying-
guns. We've got the numbers.
We just throw enough crabs at the problem until it's not a problem anymore.
Yep. Yep.
But surely you're gonna lose some crabs in the process. Please,
you must.
please tell me.
Don't get more
Of course
crabs.
we lose from crabs in the process, but we have procreation on our side.
So you're saying there's a
not that many crabs that were lost.
There's a post-battle baby boom as the crabs return
Absolutely.
It's
victorious.
it's either a post-battle baby boom or maybe the rock cannons were only effective when they were a surprise tactic because we only went down 2.
Right.
Oh god, we're doomed. Okay.
This is fine. This is all fine.
With hell's heart, I stab at thy morphing cube. With my dying breath, I send my Riftia plants from the abyss to seize your cube and drag it down into the hydrothermal vents below.
Absorb this DNA, says our plucky crew of almost immobile geothermal vent dwelling plants. The last survivors of our once proud military. As a SEAL Team 6 of them sneaks up, grabs the morphing cube and carries it into the sea. And then throws it in a vent.
Okay.
Okay, if they decide to pass, maybe we can still work out a tie, Alex.
What could their entire population do against our
Our
strength?
2 Riftia plants. At the
It's very
bottom of
warm
the sea.
down there. It's uncomfortably warm, and we did take out their greatest culture hero right there. So
It's one of those moments where I wish the Church of the Flower was still around because thematically that would be the right thing to do right now.
that would
Well,
be very good.
What we have our population who wants to visit the resting place of their great culture hero Loki,
Yes.
Yes.
which they do in great numbers,
Yes.
in great overwhelming numbers.
Oh.
And they
It's-
love the location absolutely to death.
It's not that the Riftia plants die. It's that the Riftia plants discover capitalism.
You tourism dust. You tourism dust to death.
And you realize these crabs, they're not so bad. They're different and we can make a buck off of them. We're just gonna charge them shiny little seashells to come visit.
Oh god.
Oh.
Is it a better fate? It's not for me to
No.
say.
Oh. That's very good.
You have bested. Your crabs have bested our plants.
For now.
For now. Well, now is the time for the legacy. After the heat of battle, we will let time pass on the planet. The winner of the last phase will consult the Oracle and use its result to describe what happens on the planet over the course of the next few days or centuries, because what is time, really? As before,
Right.
add a detail to the map. So, Fabric, you have an ace of diamonds, which is the escape. Tell us about how the escape occurs because of the crab's success in this bit of warfare.
And I think probably this would be good timing for this to be the sort of little epilogue of our game as well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Theoretically, we could do a whole nother round with a whole nother species and things, or another one on this same planet. But
Yeah, I mean, we could do like best of 3 for this planet, I think, is the official friendly wager rule. But whatever, we're gods. We do whatever we want.
Yeah. Best of 1 also works.
Best of
especially
1.
when
Best of 1 when we only have a half an hour to go through the entire process again.
Yeah.
So tell us about the escape.
The escape.
Okay. Is it my dumb brain is like, what if it was escape velocity, and
yes!
what if we pulled the rock lobsters up from the bottom of the ocean?
Yes.
And the crabs just started shooting themselves into space?
Yes.
Traveling across the eons, bringing the message of the fabric, and stories of Loki to other planets. Perhaps even
Draw
Earth.
it on the map.
Yes. Yeah, what are their spaceships like?
Do they have spaceships?
No.
Are they just
Or are they
clinging
just
tenaciously
crabs?
to a rock
We
that
don't
is
need
flying
those
in interstellar space?
What? They're crabs. They could do whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
here we
armored.
go. We need a gray or a brown pen. There we go. So here's there's the bunker, and then we have a gun emplacement on top of it. That looks like a dick. Fuck.
It does.
Super does, yeah.
We're rolling with it. Whatever.
You know, I have heard there's a theory of how life arrives on other planets called panspermia.
Yes.
And then here's one of the rocks that was shot off the planet. It luckily does not look like a dick. And then here's one of our little crabby friends. Boop. Burp. Burp.
No longer
I'm also
held
using
under
a
the
trackpad.
rocks. They are on top of the rocks now.
Well, we'll show those rocks.
Oh, that's a very good crab.
It's a happy crab.
Well, yeah, of course he's
Break
happy. He's
the
going
surly
into
bonds of
space.
Earth. Oh.
Well, you know, it was a fair wager. We all played our best, but I guess we won't destroy this planet, and the universe is just gonna have to take another one for the team.
Right. We're assuming that the cosmic warp and weft of the universe are just that little bit closer to falling apart because of you. But I guess we'll see how it goes.
Well, we are a force for knitting things together.
So
the
you
fabric.
claim.
Oh,
As
we are.
ever.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that's Kalon Absolute Apotheosis as she is played.
The most
All right.
accurate Animorphs game you'll ever see.
Yes.
Just like the books that we all remember.
Oh, and Rachel was there. She was there the whole time.
Until she died.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Rachel
That
was
was a
Loki
lot of
crab.
fun.
That was a morph.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Of
stuck as a
course.
Loki crab.
This is an alternate timeline where the Animorphs all start as crabs.
That honestly would have been Marco. I feel like Marco was the trickster figure of the Animorphs. Oh. Well, thank you so much for coming on. That was an absolute blast.
This
That
was great.
was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm shocked that game worked. And that game worked
That-
pretty well.
Yeah.
Like,
if you have any playtest feedback, we will happily not incorporate it into a future version of this game because we are not making one unless
this was not a playtest. That
Nope.
does not count as a playtest.
No, it doesn't count. If our patrons who have gone to patreon.com/unplaytested and checked out that, we do have the ability for patrons to theoretically vote on their favoriteest games, which we will then have to do a second actually good version of, fixing the typos and all. We will even go so far. And maybe for this one, just taking the D20 out. And
Yeah, the D20 is a bit
dice.
much. Yeah.
How did it feel to be on the other end of absolute power?
Honestly, pretty good.
I thought it might have
that's
felt
fair.
pretty
That's
good
reasonable.
on your side.
It's just like having a really big threat on the board that the opponents are just like, well, okay.
Dang. Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, it's interesting.
5% chance we'll be able to hit you. Here we guess not.
Ah, dang. Yeah, I feel like you would probably run into a bit of a death spiral in this in any case, right? Like if you start losing, you'll probably keep losing a little bit more likely than you will have a dramatic comeback, which is decent for the narrative. I feel like if we managed to speed it up a little bit, I'm like, did we really need all like 5 or 6 dice types that we used, or could we have gotten away with fewer?
Just cutting the D20 flat and doing nothing else different would be a pretty good, just straight improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of having really enjoyed getting that 19 to start with, yeah, I think getting rid of the D20 would make the game at least equally playable.
I think if you were going to do anything that wasn't just a straight cut, it's maybe have 2 D12s for each side.
2 D12s. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's because the D4 is also not doing much.
Right.
Fair.
So if we just like shift those in towards the center so that like your morphing cube is always vulnerable, but maybe you have 2 D8s and 2 D12s. And that way, like, yeah, if you do use an asset, there's a very good chance that it won't be useful later.
Yeah.
And your opponent can just immediately take out something strong.
I could also see something with, like, just treating your morphing cube as a resource and not having it actually be attackable, because those definitely felt like the ones that were the weirdest to justify. Where I was like, yes, we have stolen the cube itself. Like, what about all the people who already knew how to morph? I don't know.
It is an interesting I thought about going for the morphing cube first thing, but it was not a strategically good choice because of how it would ripple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. That's true. I forgot about that. The ripple rule. That's kind of a cool one.
It's a very cool rule.
Yay.
Yeah,
any other
real smart and pretty.
Any other favorite moments you'd like to share? Playtest feedbacks you have? Or you can skip right to letting people know where they can find you on the internet. Any projects?
Right to the plug zone.
Like you got anything, Dad? What are you doing on Twitch coming up, Dad?
Right, let me give you the spotlight here.
Wait, the spotlight.
There we go.
Okay.
You
can pass it over to me. It's fine.
Online gaming.
You can plug anything you want. You can plug books that you've enjoyed.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. People always want your book recs.
Well, we can go back to Finding the Mother Tree. That's a real good read.
All right.
If that's what you got, heck yeah.
Plug accepted. Vermin.
All right. Okay. So once again, I'm Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places that matter. That's Itch, Twitch, and Twitter. Coming up in terms of streaming that I'm doing, on Monday, September 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be on Madness Calls It Forth on TPK Roleplay. It is a like fantasy noir game where I'm playing Grendel's mom / Jane Lynch if she were cast as an ex-con in a Guy Ritchie film. That's it. The crew for that's really fun. Our VOD is up. There's some really wonderful role playing throughout, but especially right at the end, there's this like wonderful emotional moment. Really good crew on that. And then Sunday the 26th, I'm doing a Jurassic Park game where we're all going to Isla Nublar shortly after the Jurassic Park film and trying not to die.
Heck yeah!
And then
what system are you playing for that?
It's one of the generic ones, and if my Discord were open, I would be able to tell you faster. I'll come back to that.
Worries. I was gonna say, have you heard of Escape from Dino Island?
I have not.
Because that is the game that is literally designed for that exact scenario.
Oh,
I played it recently with Benito Valetti, and it was super fun. One of the classes you can be is a baby dinosaur.
That's amazing.
Holy cow.
So just if
That's
that's
good.
you could always let them know.
Why would you ever choose to not be a baby dinosaur, though?
Yeah, why would I choose not to be a baby dinosaur? I have a character pulled up for that and everything. I am getting so close to the answer of what goddamn system we're playing. It's modern horror is what it's called on my attachment, and it's a D10 system that's really, really super flexible.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, rules for modern horror from One Shot RPG is the creator. Then the Wednesday of that week, I'm starting a very specific game of Alien the RPG. I'm playing a campaign called Hubris of Man. My character is Phoebe Blackford. She's a smart gunner, so she's a lady with a big gun. I'm really excited about that game. The Alien RPG is very weird and cool. And then the big exciting thing coming out of Vermin Labs in the next couple weeks, I think on Friday the 10th, everything should be in order for us to release a game I've been working on for about 6 months called Alley Oop. Some of the mechanics in this game were directly inspired by that game and my description of it. So if you thought this was at all interesting and you want to play the basketball version, you should buy my game on September 10th when I release it to the internet. You can even buy physical copies because we did a print run. So exciting! Yay! And that's all my stuff.
Nice. So I am going to be not on the usual Wednesday stream of Hardwired Island tomorrow on All Nerds Here, because we are participating in the A Day Off Twitch protest event, I guess you would say. Boycott? Yeah, it's a boycott.
Yeah.
Don't go on Twitch tomorrow, because Twitch is doing a really bad job at having any sort of protection for the people of color who are making it a bunch of money and popularity, and that's sucky. So we are trying to get them to do better. Hashtag Twitch do better, I think, is also one. So you could use those to find out more information about that. They're just being very useless in the face of many prominent streamers, especially black streamers, getting gigantic pernicious hate raids from like Nazi bots. It's really not a good look, and we're trying to get Twitch to do anything about it. So hopefully they will. I'm looking right into the camera at you. Twitch, do it. Aside from that, what else do I have going on? Yeah, check back next Tuesday for whichever episode I end up editing for Unplaytested. It's going to be Cyber Castle Digital Dracula.
Oh, nice.
The first reverse Unplaytested game that we made with Lucas Valenza, which is going to be super duper fun. I cannot wait to show you all that one, because that's the first time we have had someone on to consult on their idea, and then that game's going to be coming out the week after that, so look forward to that.
And I'm the last one. We went in reverse order. It makes sense. Hi, I'm Lara. I'm Glaive Guizarm, friggin' everywhere on itch and Twitter and Twitch, to just steal the thing that Vermin said, except for me instead of Vermin's thing. Hey, if you want to see me do more of this, you should also go to the Crit Show's Twitch starting on Monday, because every week I'm going to be playing Afterlife Wandering Souls, in which I am the ghost of a cult leader figuring out how I died.
That's amazing.
I don't know a lot about this system. It seems like it's going to be real wild, because I didn't go into it expecting to be a cult leader, but that is how character creation ended up. And I may have been eaten by a bear. We'll find out.
That's amazing.
Also, I have a crossbow. Just, these are facts that you need to know. So, check that out. It's going to be every Monday starting at 5, I think, if I'm getting my time zones correct, at twitch.tv/thecritshow. Or follow me on Twitter at Glaive Guizarm, where I will tell you more about it every so often, whenever I remember. And now that we have been completely reordered, I am going to spend my next few minutes tearing apart my tinfoil crown, and you all can go do whatever you want. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Vermin. Thank you, Carl. Both of you were amazing.
Amazing.
As expected, Vermin, and as expected for producer of Vermin.
Yeah. And if you should ever want to come on the design half of the podcast and make a game with us, we would be happy to have you.
Thank you.
No experience required.
Well, I can definitely fill that bill.
Good. We're done forever.
Goodbye.
Bye.